U.S. President Donald Trump saying the U.S. will slap a 35% tariff on imports on Canada effective August 1st. There would be an exemption for goods that comply with the U.S.-Mexico-Canada agreement.
Mark Carney just pulled off one of the biggest commercial aviation deals of the decade, $43 billion in new aircraft orders from Boeing. That's right. And who got upstaged again in the process? None other than Donald J. Trump. For the second time this year, Carney is proving he's not just a climate guy or a financial technocrat. He's a power broker on a global scale. And Trump? Well, he's not taking it well. Let's unpack this. The deal finalized behind closed doors in Washington but announced with major fanfare in Seattle includes a purchase of over 200 Boeing aircraft, primarily 737 MAX and 787 Dreamliners. But this wasn't just a standard corporate procurement. This was a carefully orchestrated geopolitical move, and Carney was right at the center of it. How? Let's rewind a bit. Carney, best known as a former governor of the Bank of England and current UN Special Envoy for Climate Finance, has been shifting his role over the past year. He's been building something bigger, a new kind of alliance between global capital, industry, and green policy. Through a powerful coalition of sovereign wealth funds, development banks, and clean investment vehicles, many of which he helped establish, Carney has started making large-scale, climate-aligned industrial investments. The Boeing deal was a surprise, because Boeing isn't exactly the first name that comes to mind when you think of green tech. But here's where it gets interesting. These planes, they are not traditional models. The $43 billion deal is tied to a new generation of lower-emission aircraft designed to meet the net-zero transition goals for global aviation. Boeing have been under pressure for years to modernize its fleet, especially as European rivals like Airbus pushed ahead with greener technologies, and as air travel came under fire for its carbon footprint. With this deal, Boeing now gets a lifeline and a clear path to climate credibility, and Carney made sure it happened. He led the financing structure, not through government spending, but via a clean finance consortium involving global pension funds, green infrastructure bonds, and major European and Asian banks. That means the money is real, it's private, and it's politically neutral, or at least, that's the image. In reality, it's anything but neutral. Because here's the part that really stings for Trump. He's been trying, since leaving office, to rebrand himself as a savior of American industry. One of his loudest campaign promises for the 2026 midterms and his anticipated 2028 presidential run is to bring back Boeing, as he says, referring to the company's post-pandemic slump, safety scandals, and lost market share to Airbus. Trump has been pushing a more traditional industrial revival plan. Tariffs on Airbus, subsidies for American manufacturers, pressure on NATO allies to buy American-made jets, and promises of massive defense contracts. But all of that got overshadowed when Carney swooped in and delivered a commercially viable, internationally backed, and climate-approved megadeal that Trump couldn't compete with. No tariffs, no political strings, no culture war, just $43 billion in hard investment, with carbon reduction benchmarks built in, and the stamp of approval from climate investors and Wall Street. You can see why Trump is furious. Within hours of the announcement, Trump went off on Truth Social. He accused Carney of being a globalist puppet and claimed the deal was part of a UN plot to control American aviation. He even suggested that the new aircraft models were woke planes, whatever that means, and insisted that his own plan to restore Boeing would have created real jobs for real Americans, not what he called climate cronies with spreadsheets. But Trump's outrage isn't just personal. It's strategic. He sees Carney not just as a financial elite, but as a rival, a threat, someone who operates quietly, behind the scenes, yet manages to shift billions of dollars and set the tone for the future of capitalism. While Trump relies on rallies and headlines, Carney relies on boardrooms and financial leverage. And increasingly, it's Carney's playbook that's winning. The timing of this deal is also no coincidence. The aviation industry is at a crossroads. By 2027, international aviation will be subject to stricter emissions rules under the ICAO's closure framework, and many airlines are being pressured by investors and regulators to modernize their fleets. Without a major technological upgrade, they risk falling behind and falling foul of climate laws. Carney knew this, and by delivering a solution that met market needs, regulatory demands, and sustainability goals, he didn't just help Boeing, he forced the entire sector to pivot. Airlines in Europe, Asia, and Latin America are now reportedly lining up to co-finance similar orders using the same financial framework Carney created. What's the framework? It's part of a new investment mechanism called Transition Finance Platform's multi-stakeholder funds that blend private capital with multilateral backing, allowing for high-risk green transitions to happen without relying entirely on government subsidies. Carney's office helped create the blueprint, and Boeing was the first major test case. Of course, Trump supporters are spinning this as foreign interference in domestic industry. They are claiming that Boeing sold out to ESG investors and that American companies are being hijacked by international agendas. But those claims ring hollow when you look at the numbers. Boeing stock surged 11% after the announcement. American jobs will be created in plants across Washington, South Carolina, and Missouri. And for the first time in years, Boeing is leading headlines for innovation, not for lawsuits or safety failures. The big question now is, can Trump catch up? He's trying. His team has floated a counter-proposal publicly funded aerospace R&D grants tied to military procurement and domestic-only production. But so far, no major airline or manufacturer has signed on. Why? Because the money isn't moving yet. And in today's economy, speed matters more than ideology. Meanwhile, Carney is already looking ahead. There's talk of similar mega deals in the works with other heavy industries, shipping, steel, even cement. Each of these sectors is under pressure to decarbonize, and Carney's financial model is now the prototype. Wherever large amounts of capital are needed to bridge the green transition gap, Carney and his allies are showing up with ready funds and a clear message. If you're ready to evolve, we'll help you. If you're not, you'll get left behind. That message is being heard not just in boardrooms, but in Washington, Beijing, Brussels, and beyond. And Trump? He's watching all of this unfold without the one thing he craves most: control. He's spent his career trying to own the narrative around business, jobs, and American greatness. But Carney is doing something that's even harder than winning elections. He's reshaping markets. Quietly, systematically, with long-term backing and global buy-in. And that's what makes this moment so pivotal. It's not just a $43 billion aircraft order. It's a symbol of the new power struggle. The clash between old-school industrial politics and modern, global climate capitalism. Between loud populism and quiet influence. Trump still commands a massive base, and there's no doubt he's not going anywhere. But with every win like this, Carney is redefining what leadership looks like in the 21st century. It's not about shouting the loudest. It's about moving the biggest levers and doing it before your opponents even know what game you're playing. So yeah, Trump lost again. Carney sealed the deal. And the world's watching. If you found this breakdown useful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop your thoughts in the comments. Is this the future of industry? Are these deals the right way forward? And do you think Trump can mount a comeback, or is Carney already too far ahead? Thanks for watching.